Okay, so good morning everyone. Today we start the next topic of this chapter, which is separation of constituents by various methods. Means what are the different methods by which we can separate various mixtures. Means today we will be discussing the various separation techniques. So before I start, what you need from this part for your exam? For your exam and for your knowledge, you need two things. You need the technique and you need the principle behind the technique. Means how it is separated. Suppose if I ask you, how will you separate sugar from salt? Suppose. So you make a sugar solution and then you keep the sugar solution as it is, and then you will see that the sugar particles, they get settled down at the bottom. Simple technique. If I tell you, how will you separate salt from salt solution? And after you make the solution, then in the laboratory you have to cool it to get the salt back. It's a reversible process. So similarly, we will discuss three things today. That is obtaining dye from blue or black ink, separating cream from milk, you know only Amul cream and all, and separating two immiscible liquids. Immiscible का मतलब है the liquids are not getting mixed with each other. Okay? So let us start with the first part, that is obtaining dye from blue or black ink. Students, in this separation technique, which we know, obtaining this, the method of evaporation is applied in obtaining dye from blue or black ink. Evaporation is a separation technique which is used to separate the dye from blue or black ink. Now what is dye? Dye is nothing but the colored component. Dye is nothing but the colored component. Now why do you use evaporation? Students, ink is a mixture of water and the colored component. Ink is a mixture of the water and the colored component. So if you evaporate, so on evaporation, the water evaporates and the colored component or the dye is left behind. So if I tell about your technique, the technique of this process is evaporation. The technique of this process is evaporation, and the principle behind that is that on evaporating, the water evaporates, which is a part of the mixture of the ink. This is the principle. So technique and principle are two different things. Okay. Now the next topic is separating cream from milk. Now separation of cream from milk, the name of the technique is centrifugation. The name of the technique is centrifugation. 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 Now what is the concept behind centrifugation? If you go through the book, centrifugation is generally done to obtain very high quality milk or very high quality purity toned milk. Now this you see, no, Amul Taja mein what is there? Homogenized toned milk. Okay, so that is being done, and centrifugation is the process where they are separated among different layers. So in that case, we apply the principle that if the density of the particle is more, then the more the density of the particle, that particle will settle down at the bottom, and the light particle will float up, whose density is less. Matlab, if I explain you a little bit in Hindi, as some of you you find difficulty in English, I have heard. So अगर हम इस तरह से बोले कि centrifugation का technique is what, मतलब centrifugation का principle ये है कि जो भारी चीज होता है, the heavier, the density the component whose density is more, it settles down at the bottom, and the lighter particle, it comes up, which means the principle is that the denser particles are forced in the bottom, whereas the lighter particles stay at the top. The denser particles lie at the bottom and the lighter particles stay at the top. So this is the process of centrifugation. The next one is separating of two immiscible liquids. Two immiscible, two liquids which do not mix with each other. So the two liquids which do not mix with each other, I can take the example of oil and water. I can take the example of oil and water because oil and water, they do not mix. So I will use the technique of separating funnel. I will use the technique of separating funnel for the separation of two immiscible liquids. How you know? Oil and water. You know that oil floats on water. Q. Because density of oil is less than that of water. इसीलिए the fires which are caused by oil, you cannot spray water on them. क्योंकि water will क्या करेगा? The oil will float above water, it will keep burning. So इसका मतलब this technique has the principle that based on the density, if I give a separating funnel, then based on the density, the components will separate out. मतलब oil का density is less, so oil ऊपर आ जाएगा, and water का density is more, so water will go to the bottom. Is that okay? So these are the three separation techniques. So you have to write the separation technique, the separation purpose, and the principle. So today we discussed about obtaining dye from blue or black ink with the help of evaporation, where water is evaporated. We discussed separating cream from milk, which is done by centrifugation. In centrifugation principle is that the denser particles stay at the bottom and the lighter particles come up. And here we use separating funnel. Matlab if I see that separating funnel and centrifugation technique principle is almost same. Separating funnel also, the lighter one means the lesser density one, it comes up and the heavier one goes down. That is water. So in separating funnel we use in such a way that the liquids, they separate out in terms of density. So this is all about today's class. So you please write down these three different techniques of separation of constituents and various materials. And next class we will come with three techniques more. So next class we will come with three techniques more, and with this we will finish the separation techniques of this chapter. And by next week we will try to finish this chapter. Till then, thank you very much for watching me, and stay nicely, stay safe, be healthy. Goodbye for the day and have a good day. Thank you very much.